It's a humble gift shop wagon. Bonky dolls, bonky toys, bonky postcards. Yeah, this stuff isn't half bad. Brightly colored bonky baseball caps. Is there something behind them? Brightly colored is there? What on earth? This... It's some kind of roughly made costume head. There's a strange piece of red fabric stuffed inside. 2 clues for the price of 1, I guess. What can you tell me about these designs for a costume? A boggy costume.
It's Boggy! I must admit, I've been a fan of his before I ever came to the swamp.
A fan? So you're interested in cryptozoology?
Oh, no, I meant, well, Boggy has been in all kinds of cartoons and comic strips. He's one of the greatest characters of the last 100 years. I've got some comics in my tent. You really should see.
But he was only discovered 60 years ago.
Oh, that's true. Well, I rounded up.
But what about his costume? Have you seen anyone wearing it?
I can honestly say I've never seen anyone wearing anything like that. And I'm a very observant person.
You come here every day?
Yes, I do.
Well, I'm only going to ask you about one of those days. What were you doing yesterday evening?
I was here at my protest spot until fairly late. Then I went to get something to eat at Harper's Cafe before I...
Wait, you ate at the cafe here? Doesn't supporting the tourist attraction like that kind of go against your protest?
A man has to eat, doesn't he? I don't think the meager contributions of one person are going to keep this place afloat. Especially now.
And you're sleeping here? Doesn't it get cold at night?
Well, I came prepared, of course. I usually find myself with 1 or 2 extra layers to wear. Most of this bulk is padding, I promise you.
I'm sure it is. So you stayed here the whole night?
That's right. And I admit I may have heard some stranger than usual sounds floating around the swamp last night.
What kind of sounds?
It's impossible to say. This place fills with the most terrifying sounds at night. Hundreds of animals, some tiny, some much larger, awaken and make their own protests. Every night until the sun rises in the morning.
Insects make noises at night. Okay, I've written it down.
I'm afraid I have no idea. Show it to somebody else.
Remington's desk is covered in drawings and maps and notes. It's all about Boggy. He was obsessed. An ink bottle spilled into his work. I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose. Yeesh, it's a bit of a mess. Perhaps there's something underneath those drawings. It's a letter Remington was writing before something caused him to spill his ink bottle. My dear fellow, I received your note 2 weeks ago, but have only recently found the time to do the appropriate research on the matter. I feel like my time in this awful swamp might finally come to a close, all due to the simple realization... the rest is obscured. What a tease. It's a note addressed to Richard Remington. The handwriting is immaculate. Richard, our man of the world. A little help is in order. We're worried that the efforts regarding our elusive little friend might be in vain. Send word when you can. The letter is signed FF. And attached is a blurry little picture. It's some kind of metallic insect. The whole thing is a mystery. I have no idea. Vincent Vanderpeer's business card. There's a couple of numbers scribbled on the back. There's a map of the swamp lying on the desk. It's been annotated in a few places. These animals, they're not... I don't recognize any of them. Photos and paintings line the wall above the fireplace. But one of the frames is empty. Wait a second. What are these pieces on the floor underneath it? This photo is ripped, but it looks important. If I can piece it together again, maybe it'll reveal a secret. Photos and painting, but one of the frames... Wait a second. This photo is ripped. If I can piece it, maybe it... This photograph, it's a young Remington, and some other men I don't know. They're all holding rifles. Maybe I can ask Harper about it. An old hunting rifle, discarded carelessly near the window. This isn't the kind of thing I can ignore. The open window looks over the wooden planks outside. Oh, and on one side, a part of the curtain has been ripped off. It's a sharp metal poker for a fireplace, hidden in the shadows. Something about those three prongs. I feel like I just stumbled across an incredibly important piece of evidence. Have I uncovered a secret in here? The hunting rifle explains why Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. I don't get it. Seriously. The hunting rifle explains why Richard Remington was found at the crime scene. What is that supposed to mean? The hunting photo explains why Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. Maybe I just need to change one thing. There's something about Mr. Remington. The hunting photo is historical evidence that Richard Remington belonged to a secret society. I'm getting a strong feeling that Remington might be the bad guy in this story. If he wasn't already dead, I would have loved to ask him a couple of questions. I should ask around, see if I can gather any information about his motives for being here. You said you knew Remington?
He and I knew each other for a long time. I came to work at his tourist attraction in the early days, when he needed help.
Well, what kept you here?
I know most people wouldn't want to work in a place like this. I actually like it here, so I was happy to oblige.
You might like it, but I still don't see why anyone would build a tourist attraction here.
Mr. Remington has his reasons. He probably had several. I don't presume to know what they all were. Even though we were friends, he had some secrets, some hobbies, that I was happy to let him keep secret.
Secrets? Hobbies? A secret hobby?
He was a man with a dream, I can tell you that much. One of Mr. Remington's secrets, I never wanted to know the details, but these men travel the world, seeking mysterious animals to hunt. They consider myths and legends to be the ultimate prey. It's Mr. Remington's fireplace poker, this slime on the handle. It's familiar for some reason. That's Mr. Remington's old hunting rifle. He usually keeps it around. For whatever reason, he was very fond of that thing. Looks like it was fired recently. That's the same fabric from Mr. Remington's curtains.
I was told Remington left the cafe looking ill last. I found these designs for a boggy costume. Do you know anything about them?
You're asking me because you can tell I'm experienced with needlecraft and sew my own clothes?
No, but that's a good reason. Let's go with that.
Well, these designs look like they should have stayed where they were.
In the trash?
On paper.
Oh, How come?
Whoever drew them didn't really know what they were doing.
You would have done it differently?
Of course. I am a seamstress. There was a time when I considered sewing my craft, my livelihood.
Really?
When Richard Remington arrived in the swamp years ago, I offered him some of my handmade fabric as a peace offering. I don't think he cared much for it. Most likely he threw it away. A pointless gift from some strange woman.
You've been here so long, you must have crossed paths with Remington a few times. What did you think of him?
That man was a threat to the swamp. We'll be better off without him. Hopefully the curtain will fall on his little tourist attraction as well.
Better off? With a killer on the loose now?
There have been murderers loose in the swamp before.
What are you talking about?
In my time here, I've seen the swamp invaded by men. By hunters. Several times. They're relentless.
What were they hunting? Wait, what about Boggy? Is that why no one has seen him in 60 years?
They always fell short of their ultimate goal. That just meant they came back again and again, doing more harm each time.
But this area is protected by law, right?
It is now, but some men have no respect for laws, of any kind. They tried to get me to leave my home here. I stood my ground.
Obviously. But this whole area is a tourist attraction now. I doubt Remington would have allowed anyone to march into Boggy's Bog with a gun and start hunting down his main attraction.
You can put that away. I can't help.
Let's see. First thing we do is put the sample of liquid into the cauldron, then tap the faucet. And now, we just have to match the color of that liquid with these ingredients. Got it! Now I know what that liquid consists of. I'll write it down in my notes.
No, thank you. I recognize some of those men. Unfortunately, they've hunted in the swamp before.
Before it became a protected area?
Before that, yes, and one of them after that.
Covered in the same swamp slime. Sally's leggings. They link her with the crime scene. I'll have to ask her about it.
Hey.
So what can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
I didn't have one. I think I spoke to him twice, ever. He usually seemed really busy, but more like preoccupied.
Preoccupied? Like he was thinking about something else? Something that wasn't this tourist attraction?
Who can say? What do old men think about?
What? Are you implying that I know the answer to that? The black leggings you found in your bag this morning, they're covered in the same slime that was on the murder weapon.
Everything in this swamp is covered in slime. What's your angle, Grimoire?
Your leggings were part of the murderer's costume.
Costume? Is that why someone took them out of my bag last night?
Well, I don't have proof someone else took them.
If I had been wearing them when I committed a crime, do you think I would hand them over to a detective the second he shows up? Besides, look at them. What do you notice?
They're loose and stretched.
That's right, someone else. Someone larger than me has worn these. They're stretched out, especially at the waist. It's pretty obvious.
So, let's see. Somebody stole them to use in their boggy costume, and then put them back in your bag when they were done?
If you say so. It's not my job to know all the details. It's my job to sell souvenirs. Do you want a souvenir?
Oh, my, yes. But only if you choose one for me.
You look like you could use something to wind up. You can take this one.
What can you tell me about your relationship with Richard Remington?
We didn't really have one, and now we definitely don't have one. But look, all I can say is that he was a coward who enjoyed watering down history for his own benefit.
What does that mean?
It means there are some chapters of this swamp's history that he never wanted anyone to know about.
Did he like you sniffing around this museum all the time?
I don't think he knew, to be honest. And even if he did, there's nothing he could have done about it. He has no right to this building. He knows that. We both know that.
Why not? It was part of his tourist attraction, wasn't it?
No, it wasn't. Guesswork. Nobody can know what Boggy's feet look like. It's his greatest secret. A good example of how Boggy's feet are never shown in any form. They often use that little red bucket to hide them. This is just a piece of junk they sell to tourists. It has no resemblance to the real creature. I have no interest in something like that. You're wasting your precious...
What can you tell me about these designs for a boggy costume?
Nothing whatsoever.
You're sure you didn't see anything like this while you were filming yesterday? Wait, hold on a minute. What if
Don't you dare ask.
This costume isn't your doing, is it? Made for your movie, I mean?
My friend, there will be no costumed... I can assure you...
What about your boggy movie? Isn't that going to be... Or a puppet? Or one of those weird robot things?
Technology has been kind to people like me. We no longer have any need for such tomfoolery. I can create a perfectly believable swamp creature within the confines of a computer. Much cheaper, too.
I suppose you've met with our murder victim, Richard Remington.
Yes, I've been in and out of this place for a while now. Naturally, I've crossed paths with Remington a number of times. Good value, that one. A real raconteur, you know.
You liked him? So far, I'm getting the impression he wasn't the most popular guy around here.
Well, that much is clear, isn't it? The man obviously slipped up somewhere, made an enemy or two, and bam, that's that. You just can't be too careful, can you?
Yeah, I think he did have an enemy or two. Or three. But you liked him.
I respected him. Good head on his shoulders. Good business sense, that man. He understood how to make things work for him. If you want an autograph, a plain sheet of paper will suffice. I don't really have time to be looking it up.
I heard this. I found these designs for a costume, a boggy costume.
The legendary swamp creature.
Yeah, that's the one.
But these are just a child's drawings, are they not?
You think?
Perhaps. It's difficult to tell.
You saw Remington last night, but had you met him before? Did you know him?
I've never really spoken with him, but we've come into contact a few times. Vincent likes to handle that kind of work, and I like to let him.
What do you think of this place? The tourist attraction, I mean.
I can't say I like the idea of a natural area like this becoming commercialized.
I know. I just can't understand why anyone would even try.
I think Mr. Remington had his reasons. He looked like a man with a couple of secrets.
Like what?
I have no idea. If I knew, they wouldn't be secrets. What is it? Some evidence from last night's murder? That's great. I'm sorry I have not seen that before.
There's a narrow path here leading up that hill and through the trees. It doesn't look inviting. I'm not sure it's part of the...
You won't be getting very far discussing that with me. Try someone less important.
Why don't you show that to someone else?
So, you found it. I wonder who else knows about it. I have no interest in something like that. Obviously. You're wasting your precious time.
This is a 60-year-old journal. It was on display in a museum.
I know what it is.
I thought you might. I'm supposed to look to the past, right? Richard Remington founded Boggy's Bog when the swamp creature was hunted and killed. Richard Remington founded Boggy's Bog when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorer 20 years ago. I don't get it. I'm starting to piece together the history of this place. Richard Remington built the museum because the swamp creature was discovered by the explorer 20 years ago. What is that? Richard Remington built the museum because the swamp creature was hunted and killed. Oh, that does... Richard Remington killed the swamp creature when Boggy was discovered by the explorer 20 years ago. Oh, that doesn't make sense, does it? Is Weybridge connected to the swamp's history? Lady Weybridge founded Boggy's Bog when Boggy was hunted and killed. I don't get it. Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when Boggy was hunted and killed. No. Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when the swamp creature was hunted and killed. Lady Weybridge built the museum because the swamp creature was hunted and killed. Oh, that... Lady Weybridge was living in the swamp when the swamp creature was discovered by the explorer 60 years ago. Lady Weybridge. She was living here when Boggy was first discovered by the explorer. I've been looking into the history of this place.
Oh, really? Did you find anything?
Yeah. You.
You must be confused. You found me today when you barged into my house. Remember?
You were already living in the swamp when the explorer came here 60 years ago.
The explorer? That man they talk about in the museum?
The one who originally discovered Boggy. You know who I'm talking about. His sketches and notes are the only real evidence we have for this creature.
You already have his journal. You learned to read, I assume. What else do you need?
There's a page missing from the journal. I think you know where it is.
Why on earth would I know something like that?
Because you were the only person here when the explorer visited the swamp. I have a suspicion that the swamp creature wasn't the only thing he discovered.
You're suggesting he gave me a page from the back of his journal. Or what, that I stole it?
You stole it from him before he left the swamp. And let's think about this one again. I've been...
Oh, really? Did
Yeah.
you... What?
You were the original
Oh, did you...
Yeah.
You must... You found me when you... Remember?
You were already living...
That man...
You know who... His sketches...
You learned...
I think you wrote in...
Oh, did...
Yeah.
You... What?
You were already living in
the
one... You know who... His sketches...
You already... You learned...
I need you to tell... That was a... I really have no idea. If I could see it, I might be able to make up my mind.
It doesn't belong in a museum. It belongs here, with me. You understand?
What if I promise I'll return it after I finish clearing up this mess?
Then I'll show it to you.
Is this you? He drew you into his journal? It's beautiful.
60 years ago, yes. He left the page with me. We agreed the rest of the world would manage without it.
I think there's something on the back. What's this? Footprints.
Is that the missing page of the journal?
I think so.
It's an important artifact. It belongs in a museum.
Yeah, you're not wearing the right hat to be saying that.
Where are you keeping all this stuff? In your pockets?
I don't know everything, I'm afraid.
You won't be getting very far discussing that with me. Try someone less
Oh? That's great.
He drew me into his journal. I was 20 years old. That's the end of...
Does this explorer have a name?
Yes?
Are you going to tell me?
No.
So what did Mr. Remington think of you? I mean, protesting in the middle of a swamp every day.
It wasn't his swamp. If he ever truly thought it was, then he was even more of a fool than he seemed.
But he didn't like you hanging around, right?
That man was exceptionally skilled at ignoring me, ignoring anything he didn't like.
So, what, he just left you alone?
He expected me to get bored and go home. He figured I'd get sick of this place and he'd have it back to himself.
But he didn't want it to himself, did he? He wanted lots of people to come visit all the time, surely.
I'm sure it says that in the brochure. Yes. No thanks, my friend. Why are you carrying that around with you?
I have a suspicion it may have been the murder weapon.
Really? I thought Remington was attacked by something with claws, wasn't he?
That museum is quite a nice, which makes it look even more out of place in a swamp. is it being held up on wooden supports? It's bizarre.
Try and solve every suspect's challenge topic. If you're struggling, don't forget to present profiles and clues to people who might be interested. Oh, and hurry up. It's cold in this boat.
Hey. Is that one of the other suspects? They're more suspicious than me. Let's agree on that. I have no idea what that is.
Good evening, gamers. This is Christian Gamer Jolie with you. How are you all doing this wonderful evening? I actually had a great day today. It was pretty good. And then yesterday was even was a really good Sunday. We had a really good church service, and then I got to see a friend actually who I haven't seen for a long time. I've seen him a few times here and there in the last 8 years, but I hadn't been able to just sit and talk with him for a long time. So he went out to lunch with us, and we ended up eating and talking for about 3 hours. We went to a buffet, went to a hibachi grill, so it was pretty good. So let's, we don't have any shout-outs today. We don't have any birthday requests or anything. So we're just going to go ahead with our scripture of the day. It's Proverbs 18:12. Haughtiness goes before destruction. Humility precedes honor. It's a great scripture. Reminds us to be humble, and by being humble, we'll gain honor. So let's go ahead and proceed. We're going to go ahead and finish this up tonight. I'm going to go ahead and give you however long it takes is the recording. So let's go ahead and get right into it, folks. Alright, let's go talk to the treehouse lady. Let's see what she can help us with.
You can put that away. I can't help you with it.
Okay, she can't help us with that, so that's alright. Alright, let's go ahead and go back. Talk to our friend. We already talked to him about everything. So let's go back. And we'll go to... Oh, not to the tree house, folks. Wrong place, sorry. We wanted to go to the cafe. See what he has to tell us. Sorry, my sister texted me, so I needed to text her back. Alright, let's take a look here, folks.
Why don't you show that to someone else?
Okay, Harper's not impressed with that.
You don't know everything, I'm afraid.
Well, you should. Alright,
I don't know very much about them. You have a lot of suspects on that list.
I do.
I don't know what to say.
Alright, he's not gonna be helpful, so let's go back. Let's go to the gift shop.
It's a humble gift shop. What on earth?
What?
It's some kind of roughly made costume head, I think. There's a strange piece of red fabric stuffed inside.
Oh.
2 clues for the price of 1, I guess.
There you go.
What on earth? There's a strange 2 clues for the price.
Okay, we gotta get to it, so.
Brightly colored, is there? What on earth? It's some kind of... There's a strange... 2 clues for the price of... What on earth? This thing doesn't seem to belong here at all. It's some kind of roughly made costume head, I think. There's a strange piece of red fabric stuffed inside. 2 clues for the price of 1, I guess.
Alright, let's go and talk to our girl about it.
What? That is not something from my gift shop. I've never seen it before. I have no idea what that is.
Okay. She doesn't want to be helpful.
I always thought it was weird that his feet are in that little bucket all the time.
It's just part of the character, I guess. I'm surprised they don't sell some sort of boggy foot soaker.
And that would be the one product I'd consider buying.
Okay. Let's go back. And we are going to go back, and we're going to go talk to the tree lady again. Treehouse.
No, thank you.
Let's go talk to our nerdy friend.
So,
He has nothing we can help us with. So let's go back.
There's a little...
Let's go back, and we're going to go to the office.
An old hunting rifle, discarded carelessly near the window. This isn't the kind of thing I can ignore. The open window looks over the wooden planks outside. Oh, and on one side, a part of the curtain has been ripped off. Remington's desk is covered in drawings and maps and notes. It's all about Boggy. He was obsessed. An ink bottle spilled into his work. I'm sure he didn't do that on purpose. Yeesh, it's a bit of a mess. Perhaps there's something underneath those drawings.
Alright, let's see what's underneath here.
Vincent Vanderpeer's business card. There's a couple of numbers scribbled on the back. It's a letter Remington was writing before something caused him to spill his ink bottle. My dear fellow, I received your note 2 weeks ago, but have only recently found the time to do the appropriate research on the matter. I feel like my time in this awful swamp might finally come to a close, all due to the simple realization, the rest is obscured. What a tease. It's a note addressed to Richard Remington. The handwriting is immaculate. Richard, our man of the world. A little help is in order. We're worried that the efforts regarding our elusive little friend might be in vain. Send word when you can. The letter is signed FF, and attached is a blurry little picture. It's some kind of metallic insect.
Aha.
The whole thing is a mystery. I have no idea.
Interesting.
Photos and paintings line the wall above the fireplace, but one of the frames is empty. Wait a second. What are these pieces on the floor underneath it? This photograph. It's a young Remington, and some other men I don't know. They're all holding rifles. Maybe I can ask Harper about it.
Alright, let's go talk to Harper. We've already asked Harper about that, so... let's go and talk to the protester.
This is the journal, correct? The one that man left here 60 years ago?
You seem a little unsure of the details. Shouldn't you have read up on all this stuff?
Yeah.
Forgive me. It's hard for me to get the image of Boggy as the lovable cartoon character out of my mind. Just so iconic. Did you know, in 1973,
But you're protesting to protect the real swamp creature. The cartoon character is just some commercial byproduct, right?
Yes, of course. A man who has sacrificed luxuries to protect those who need protecting.
Sure, yeah.
Pretty good beard, too.
I'm impressed someone managed to pitch a tent here. And I'm impressed someone would want to. It's a colorful, boggy-themed padlock. He's staring into my soul. It should open if I set the right number.
Alright, let's just bounce around and see what we can find out, guys. So you move, it's just by moving the actual individual pieces, it's not the arrows, which doesn't make much sense because it shows you arrows, but there was a picture in the museum. Aha.
It's a journal. I guess it belongs to Echo. Bad news. Remington is dead.
Oh boy.
I don't know what to do. Was my whole protest in vain? They'll shut this place down, sure, but I'll never know if I got through to him. That's all he's written.
Let's present a profile to him.
The murder victim.
Since last night, yeah. But he was the owner of Boggy's Bog. Did you know him?
Not personally. To be honest, I'm quite glad about it.
Quite glad that he's dead or that you didn't know him. Let's talk to the gift shop girl.
Is that one of the other suspects? They're more suspicious than me. Let's agree on that.
Okay, sure. Agree on that. See what she says.
I don't know why she still works here, to be honest. One murder is one murder too many.
True. Alright. So, is there anything else we need to do you think, here, folks? Let's see. Let's go talk to him. See what he has to say about... We already asked him about Echo. Okay, so let's go and ask the tree lady. Tree house. About Echo. See what she has to say.
Show it to someone who doesn't live in a tree.
Okay. Sure.
If you bring me something with liquid on it, I might be able to help you.
Yeah, she's not going to be any more help to us. So, out of there. Alright, now let's go talk to the museum. Talk to our buddy.
So,
See what he thinks.
this person is of no interest to me whatsoever.
Okay, fine. Let's go. We got 2 more people we can talk to. I think they're in the clearing. Yep. Let's see what he thinks about Echo.
You should ask someone else.
Okay. Let's talk to Vandermeer about him. Let's just see what he has to say.
I simply don't have time to help you with this.
Okay, fine. I think we've done everything, folks. I think I might know who the murderer is.
So,
Alright, so we presented him everything. So I'm just going to go through each person just to make sure that we unlocked every secret question. So we'll just do this really quick. Oh, we're already there. Alright, so let's go to the woods. Oh, let's talk to the little girl again.
Aha! The great detective returns. Did you run out of ideas? Need a little push in the right direction?
No? I'm getting a new idea. It involves ignoring you. No need to push me, but the direction would help. You're the only one who needs a little push. Sure, why not?
No need to push me, but the direction would help.
Like it or not, I'm here to help you.
I get it. You give me a map, then you magically disappear and hide behind a tree for an hour. You want me to be impressed?
Did you talk to all the suspects yet?
I'm working on it. You can't rush these things, you know.
Have you noticed anything unusual?
I notice that this is going to take longer than I originally planned, and I'm getting the feeling that I wasn't wrong about this tourist attraction.
What do you mean?
I had a hard time believing there could be a place like this here in a dark corner of a swamp. It didn't make sense, and it still doesn't.
Some things don't make sense straight away. You need to look a little closer.
At what?
Deep.
The mud, the water, the trees.
Nope. They've been here for years, and they're not to blame. They belong here.
She's gone again. Hiding in a bush, no doubt. I wonder if she'll ever tell me something I can actually understand.
Makes you think.
This staircase is a tree. And this place is so weird.
Alright, so treehouse. Let's just make sure we've got everything we can from her. Challenge complete, so we're good there. So let's go check out Harper. Challenge complete, so we're good there. Alright, so we got two more people to check out after her.
It's a humble gift.
Oops.
Hey.
Challenge complete, so we're good there. Alright, so let's just go to the last place, the clearing. Check out these two people. I think we've already... Yep, challenge complete, and I know we've done this one, but we'll check it anyway. Challenge complete. So last person we last person we have to check is the protester, just to make sure. Yep, challenge complete. All right, so let's see if we're all set, guys. I think we are. Let's go down the swamp dock and talk to our sheriff captain.
You finally returned. Well, did you find the swamp creature? Where is he?
I didn't find him.
What? You're not getting paid to wander about aimlessly, Grimoire. Get back out there.
I don't need to.
Final chapter, Boggy's criminal return. Okay, when I said 9 and up, this is the part where, from now on, where it might get a little intense. So just a pre-warning for anybody under 9. You might want to watch the final chapter. So you might want to watch it first and then make your own decision on what you think. Alright, so here we go. Final chapter, Boggy's criminal return. We'll give it a 10 count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Here we go.
Why not? I thought he was our prime suspect.
Well, not anymore.
Didn't you find photographic evidence of Boggy from last night? Let me see that photo.
Black and white.
If that's not Boggy, what is it?
Present a clue of the costume.
I found designs for the costume in a trash can. Not only that, I collected all the pieces of the costume myself. Well, nearly all of them. There's still the one that...
But the footprints at the scene of the crime! How can you prove these don't belong to a real creature?
Present the clue of the missing piece.
What's this? I thought there were no records of a footprint anywhere.
No public records. The footprints at the crime scene don't match the ones on this page. They were just a product of these slippers. A part of the costume.
But Grimoire, this costume, it doesn't have claws of any kind. How do you explain the 3 wounds on the victim's chest?
3 wounds are from the fireplace
The
poker.
prongs match up with the wounds perfectly. The handle's even covered in slime, see?
Ah, but this swamp slime was one of the reasons Boggy became a suspect in the first place. Surely this only incriminates the creature further.
You'd think so, wouldn't you? But that slime, it's not exactly what you think.
Slime is from the swamp
This
shoots.
stuff is an uncanny resemblance to the so-called swamp slime. A bunch of it was stolen from the storeroom of the cafe, which reminds me.
What is that, exactly?
A poisoned hot dog. It's the second reason that the murderer broke into the storeroom. He put this green powder on the entire supply, just to make sure.
To make sure of what?
To make sure Remington got ill and had to return to his office.
Remington went back to his office? Alone?
The murder. Final chapter.
I've been looking through your evidence, Grimoire. One piece in particular seems critical to me. I think we need to work out.
Video footage? Vincent Vanderpeer filmed it last night, at the exact moment of the murder, I believe.
Well, exactly. I think we can both agree these sounds in the background. They're essential in our mystery. Could you talk me through them? Just rearrange the descriptions on the left to match the sounds on the right.
Okay, we can do this. We gotta
Drag
rearrange.
them around and keep swapping until you're happy with the order. And if you want to hear the sounds again, you can tap on them.
No problem.
Alright.
I can always check my case file if I want to go over my notes.
So we just need to reorganize everything. So we can do this. Okay. So, creaking is when they open the door. He sees Boggy. Culprit grabs like a metal.
Ah, excellent. There's just two small details bothering me. First of all, if Remington ripped off a piece of his curtains, why wasn't it found at the crime scene? What happened to it?
It's in the head.
Turns out the murderer took that piece of fabric and concealed it inside the head of the costume. Then he fled the crime scene to hide all the parts in different areas of the swamp.
Ah, well, that's my problem. If Remington fired his rifle, how did the assailant survive and manage to escape? Did Remington miss his target?
At point blank? A man of his experience? I don't think so. In fact, the answer to that question is the very last link in our chain.
Aha.
The one thing that has eluded me so far. I'll drag the clue items from the left onto my drawing, and we'll see what happens when we compare the pieces with the original design I found.
Okay, so boom. Feet go on the feet, the hands they go on the hands. Head is for the head. And the legging is for the legging. So what is missing? His body.
Wait, you never found the body piece, the torso.
You're right, and I never would have found it. Not lying around. Not like the others.
But what does this have to do with the murderer surviving the rifle shot?
This torso is probably made up of some thick material. Something covering the culprit's entire
Aha,
upper body.
bulletproof
I believe
vest.
it may have even been enough to
To
soften...
soften the impact from a bullet. Aha!
Exactly.
Well, let's put your theory to the test. Where is that last piece of the costume? But how? We looked everywhere. Not a single clue.
Simple. He's still wearing it.
Aha. Continue.
I don't know what you want with me. Sounds like you two were smart enough to uncover the real criminal in this swamp, and lucky enough to have somebody else deal with him for you. You worked it out. He had his rifle on him. He got half a glance at me and pulled the trigger without hesitation.
But why would he do that? You were dressed as Buggy. He shouldn't be pointing his gun at a unique scientific specimen, not to mention his main attraction.
You're right. It doesn't make sense.
It doesn't make sense, does it? Not unless you're in on the secret.
The haunting photo. Leads me to believe.
The hunting photo leads me to believe Richard Remington was here to hunt Boggy.
Final chapter, The Hunter and the Hunted.
A secret society, an order of hunters, seeking out mysterious and elusive creatures.
The order goes further than this one man, and much further than this one swamp.
The whole thing is kind of distressing. I knew something was wrong as soon as I stepped into that office.
I'm glad you've finally come around. It's not just
But what about Remington? He was a member of this order?
He made Boggy his own personal project, his own obsession. For years he hunted the creature, the potential perfect addition to his collection.
But he owned the tourist attraction.
He did.
Set it up himself, didn't he?
Yes.
He did. It was just his way of forming a legal loophole. Since the area became protected, he and his friends were unable to come here for hunting anymore. Boggy's Bog was just a front for his own little game. A man pursuing a creature.
A creature that might not even exist.
And that's why Remington kept a rifle nearby at all times?
Well, exactly. He didn't want to take any chances.
Now, don't you see? I did this place a service. Did Boggy a service. That creature, he can live in peace again.
Can he? You tried to frame him for murder. You wanted everyone to think he was some kind of ruthless predator?
Well, think about it. Once he became suspected of murder, they'd have no choice but to shut this whole place down. Everyone would finally realize they had no business here.
But he's not a killer. You're the one who...
Detective.
It's
finished. Well, don't be angry. You should be glad. It's finally time to leave the swamp. You have another job to do.
I don't know.
Not that it makes any difference to somebody like you, but I never intended to kill him. Just to scare him. Convince him Boggy wasn't going to let him live here in peace any longer. But, true to form, he had his rifle on him. You worked out the rest yourself.
It makes a difference.
Well, Mr. Everstone, I'm afraid you'll still have to come with us. Fortunately, there's a police station just a few miles down.
Hey, wait!
Uh-oh. Sorry, I can't do anything about the sound, guys. It just got loud. I have no control. Bye-bye, Boggy. Oh, my hat.
Looks like you solved more than one mystery tonight.
Aha. Detective Grimoire, secret of the swamp.
Well, what did they decide to do?
We had Mr. Everstone questioned. He was happy to tell us everything he knew. A number of rumors going around the department have been confirmed.
And Remington's office?
Searched down to the last detail. And well, we agree with you, but I know what you're thinking. I'd love to put an end to it, just the same as you. But there's always...
Are we going after them?
We better be.
Aha, to be continued. Well, it looks like they set up for a sequel. I guess we're going to have more Detective Grimoires. Alright, folks, that was the end of our Detective Grimoire. I will go ahead and I'm going to work on a review and put up a review on what my thoughts were of the game. I hope you all enjoyed our series of Detective Grimoire. Put a like, tweet if you can, comment on what you think of the game, how it went, what your thoughts were, and if you are blessed, if you'd like to donate, that would be great. I guess once again, I hope you enjoyed this series, and just have a blessed evening. Christian Gamer, out.